probably not a bad idea for us to continue with that.
Yeah, if we have it, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm sure at some point, somebody will be asking, and it's really good for us if we say, take a look at storm drain X, we'll know exactly which one we're talking
Well,
about.
we do have to remap because
Yeah.
during the smoke test, they found that the maps that were prepared were not really accurate.
Okay.
There was storm drains where they weren't on the map.
Well, not
So,
from the
no,
previous
it's
map.
not from it's from the maps that were done back in 1990, I believe. So, okay. So you've been busy. Thank you. With that, we could go into 4C, trustee Mack. Well, he looks like he's okay. You okay?
It's got a shade.
20 more days.
Are we going with
Yep.
me?
Yeah.
Okay, so, being we don't have a street sweeper, and I've noticed that, some residents think that it's okay to blow all their leaf clippings and everything else into the streets. We do have on code a law that says, no person shall sweep, rake, or otherwise deposit leaves, grass clippings, or branches on a sidewalk or street except at times and place designated by the Board of Trustees for leaf pickup. I mean, some of the streets look horrible, so if we have a law on file, I think we should enforce it. Because you can obviously see where people are just, have no regard for their neighbor, and they just feel that it's, beneath them to pick up their garbage. So I think we should start enforcing the law.
I recommend a CTY message to the residents. Once again, just reminding them, obviously this time of year in spring, when they're cutting their lawns or blowing the leaves, that they need to be bagged. Have we decided, or did you check out any further on the price of the bags?
No.
If we were gonna sell them, if not?
No, but we could, that's later on, but we could get into that right now.
Sure.
But prior to that, I think we need, remember we divided the village up into quadrants?
Mhm.
If we could not only send a message out, CTY, but also let's take it upon ourselves to visit our areas to see what needs to be cleaned up. We could forward that list on to Jeannie. You want to code? You're not that busy now,
I have nothing to do, I'm very bored.
so
Oh, I know.
we could keep her going and then you'll give that list to the chief, all right? The idea of this is not to collect any money from residents, that's not what we're looking for, just looking for a clean village,
That's all.
okay? So we're looking at village.
No. Yeah.
Well, he could start an issue. Well, no, I'm sorry, no, he would have nothing.
Just to go expand off of that, is there any laws about placement and all the voting signs and things like that that are around? And
No.
when they need to be removed and the time frame and things like that? Because that gets pretty messy.
That I think there is, correct, there's 30 days from the placement of the sign?
I believe it's 30 days prior to the election, you're allowed to have it up, and I believe it's 7 days after the election, they need to come down.
So that we have, but no placement, which is something that we could work on prior
So
to.
if there are signs that are still left after day 7, after election day, is the board going to enforce the law or the code against
We would look to do that.
those people that have the signs up?
We would look to do that. Now, what's happened in the past, people take signs and they throw them into the woods. And I don't think it's the people who are running for office who would do that.
No, but
So we have to come up with some type of solution.
Maybe you should start a permit program. Each person who wants to put a political sign out.
I like that, she likes it too, because.
I do.
Or just limit it to certain areas, so the whole entire village isn't scattered with signs.
It is great, this is craziness. I've never seen it like this before.
Based on our experience, you'll have a lot of people emailing you, getting you on Facebook, calling you up, and telling you where your signs are and to pick them
Yeah.
up.
Right.
So the people who have the signs out there should be responsible enough to pick them up. If they don't pick them up in a timely manner, like Wednesday, they'll start getting calls like we did,
Right.
and they'll tell them where.
But I'm just
their signs
saying, even prior to election day, just, you know, again, there's just signs randomly spread out throughout the village where it just, you know, becomes an eyesore because they're up for, you know, a month to a month and a half,
It does,
whatever
yeah.
it is. And, you know,
I
it's,
think
and it's a few times a year also, it's not just, you know,
I think
one
we could
time.
also look into size,
That's in there too.
so. So she'll be busy between this and Artie's suggestion of permits
Permits.
Great idea, Elaine.
per sign. Per
Excuse
sign.
me,
And location.
let me just say, if you think that I'm gonna call any political candidate and tell them that they're gonna fill out a permit, put up their sign in this municipality, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Mayor Bucko?
It's probably a violation of the First Amendment anyway, to have somebody on top of you. Also, I was gonna say with regard, the leaves are one thing, but the grass, what people call grass out, grass has seeds, and so what happens is grass starts growing in the expansion joint in the roads, which isn't not only ugly, but it also doesn't help the expansion joint either, so that's why it's particularly important not to blow grass out into the, because every road has an expansion joint on either side, it fills up with weeds and grass and whatnot.
Well, one of the things that came up, Chris, just when I passed this along, I was told Friday that I just put the bag out there this morning and it was picked up in the afternoon, so.
Mr. Shaker.
Some of these people are pretty happy over leaf bags being picked up.
They left mine out for anyway.
They don't feel-
Because the bottom's gonna fall
It's
out.
only so many roads they can do for a day, but anyway, that was a positive, so, thank you. Okay, we could get to,
We gonna talk about the leaf, the vacuum?
yeah, 4H, purchase of leaf vacuum. Rich and I, trustee Calora and I went up to Newburgh Power Equipment and we looked at a leaf vacuum. I think it was $6,900. It's not one that will pick up piles and piles of leaves, but it is one that we can pick up along the curb line. We pick up leaves along the curb line, towed by one of the dump trucks that has to be modified for leaf pickup. But we can't depend, and we shouldn't depend on a sweeper picking up leaves. That's not what it's for. So really, our roads don't look the best right now, and there's nothing that we can do unless we purchase this vacuum. We could lease it, $6,900. I think we could just go out and purchase it.
But it's not to clean up.
No,
Like
pick up the
leaves that
leaves,
residents have?
along- not doing a program where let's put all the leaves out on the curb
Okay.
and pick it up. Now, I'm sure if there's a small pile of leaves, it's definitely gonna do that.
Where
But,
does
you
it,
know.
where does it discharge the leaves, the debris it's picking up?
It's gonna be into the dump truck,
So,
just like they do with the
like
chipper.
a chipper?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Did we demo it? Or can we demo it? Have you
You got,
got something?
you got a lot of YouTube for the skag, it's a
Yeah.
skag, and you go on YouTube, there's a number of different models around the same size.
Chris, in the meantime, if we do pick up something like that, could the dump truck that you pulled the chipper with take the leaves or no?
I think it's got a box on it, so why not?
But I'm saying it would hold the leaves if we use that. And you just-
No, it would just be my comment, yeah. So, we can have this, money from where? Well, we'll have to take it out of roads, road improvements.
What about your CHIPS money?
We do have money in the CHIPS
You
fund.
can use your CHIPS money as long as that equipment will last more than 10 years. You can use CHIP money. So, I don't know what you get for CHIP monies now, but it's a
It was 39,000.
39,000.
So it's something that we
use
could
some
have.
of your CHIPS money for that type of thing, and maybe you might want to look at something more advanced.
Yeah.
Newburgh equipment, you go to, I don't know, who's it, Hoffman Equipment, one of them guys, to see if you can get a better.
Well, the problem is, and we did research other,
Bigger machine thing, you're saying.
yeah, other companies, other machines, but we're not gonna have it until the spring,
Oh,
okay? I guess they only produce so much each year and that it's gone. This is something that we could have by, the weekend. We could start cleaning up the village streets, and once we do purchase the other machine, we could always sell this machine. Put it at the auction.
So does this have like a sweep on it that it's on rollers, wheels, and it just hugs the curb, or is somebody physically with a
Yeah.
tube?
Yeah, somebody has to walk
With the
through it
tube.
with the tube. Okay, it's towed by a truck.
So it's a two-man operation or a three-man operation at the end of the day?
I don't know about three, definitely two.
It's gotta be three, because
Yeah.
someone's
It's
gonna be following that,
3 or 4.
protecting the guy with the hose.
Okay, so
You got
three-man,
a truck behind it?
three-man operation. Right now, we don't have three people working on it, and you could see the roads, how they look. So,
And what's the status of the sweeper?
status of the sweeper, we have to either float a bond for it, because, we were told for the past year, I know I listened to it, that we just have to write a check of $245,000, but we don't have $245,000 to write a check out of.
Is this thing built?
I don't know if it's built. The sweeper, or,
Yeah, the sweeper.
I don't believe it's built, but we could have it within 60 days, I believe it was.
I said 30 days.
30 days? But a sweep is not for leaves.
Well, I mean, what I'm seeing here is something where you ask the residents to put the leaves on the curb line and basically vacuum them up.
Well, that's-
Manual
I think that was
versus
for demonstration.
a sweeper, huh?
I think that was for demonstration, that they showed,
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's what I would be using it for. I mean, if we're just talking about walking down the street, just picking up odds and ends, then I don't know. I think that's gonna be way too time consuming, and we've got three guys off the road. If we're I'd rather figure out if we're going for the sweeper and pursue it.
Okay.
So that we have a sweeper, we can put one guy in it and,
Right, but a
Get it
sweep is
done.
not used for leaves.
okay, in this application, they're doing it for leaves. If we're
That's not a
just,
sweeper.
hmm?
That's not a sweeper.
Right, that's the vacuum. So this would be my expectation. You got a big pile of leaves, the guy's got the, I don't know if you guys can see
Right,
this, and he sucks them up. If we're just talking, just to go down and manicure the curb line, then I wouldn't be in favor of this. I'd rather just jump on the bandwagon and get the sweeper done, if that's what we can do, and get it in 60 days.
Okay, but a
Because we're
sweeper
gonna get that
shouldn't be
money
used for
back,
leaves.
right? Hmm?
The sweeper should not be used for leaves.
Well, whatever's in the curb line will get picked up, right? Regardless. I mean, it gets dirt, it will probably,
Okay.
probably will get leaves,
The machine that we're talking about, I'm not saying it's not going to do that,
right?
okay, but if you travel through towns in New Jersey, that's part of their process, just throw all the leaves out in the middle of the street,
Right.
and we're gonna have this huge machine come and pick it up. which is something that we could get to.
Yeah.
I just don't think the machine that we're looking at right now will be able to handle the whole village throwing their leaves into the street.
Yeah, and
Part of the problem with that too is, I mean, I've seen that, and, you know, by the time these guys get to the whole village, it could be a week's process or whatever it is. Well, you get a couple of good windstorms or whatever, and you're just blowing leaves all over the place if they just piled up on the curb. I think that's a very just messy situation, and, you know.
and this
What if
actually,
what if it's a rainy week? They can't really, may not be able to suck up the leaves in the rain or something. It's just,
If we go to that, if you go to that program, you're saying.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're, you know,
Well, if a big machine will even do it in the rain.
right, but those leaves could be out there for however long until, you know, what if these guys have a scheduled pickup, say, you know, at the middle of November? People could be putting leaves out there for 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Well, it wouldn't be like that. If we go to a
You're gonna make it a
program,
weekly thing?
probably something to that effect, if we go to that program next year. We're not talking about doing it now. If we go to that program next
That's a
year,
lot of leaf
then
pickup.
they wouldn't be picking up